You're listening to the Chatty Daddies podcast.
Welcome to the Chatty Daddies. I'm JC Chavez.
And I'm Trey Peart, and Nick has the flu.
Crickets.
Yeah.
He got hit by the flu, which means school is crazy right now.
And it was flu B. He didn't even get the good flu, the flu A.
Oh, so he's not even an honor roll?
I know. Golly.
This
so
guy.
Blair's over there having to take care of 3 children now.
Yeah.
With Davis and Ellie, and Nick is just probably in the other room just,
They did
something.
a scientific study, Trey, that showed that men do truly get hit harder when we get hit.
I bet a scientist did it.
By the flu or the cold.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a male scientist, but aren't most of them?
Wow. Wow.
That's a joke.
Oh, my God.
Please, I hope my wife is not mad at me. That was clear. I was just going for the funny there.
Oh, my goodness. And I don't really know what Nick is like whenever he gets sick. He seems like somebody that powers through a lot of the time. I don't know. I myself just want to be left alone.
Me too. I like to go into the room and just chill.
And I try my best to do that for Kara. And Kara's the complete opposite. So she's like, I want somebody to come and check on me and bring me water and check my temperature and kiss my forehead and ask
my
me
wife.
how she's feeling. And I'm like, oh, see, I just take the kids and get them away from you for as long as possible. And I think that's my showing love.
Right.
And you think it's like people need to take care of you and bring me crackers and all. I'm like, no, just let me die.
Because women are naturally nurturing.
Right.
And us guys, some are really good at nurturing, but most guys, let's be honest, we struggle doing that. We don't know how to do it right, and we feel like we get in the way, so we tend to just give you your space when you get sick because that's what we want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So hopefully Nick is feeling better soon. Hopefully he will be able to make it back for the next round of the flu doesn't last that long. Of course,
He should be back. He should be back ready to go by Monday.
But we'll fill in for him, just the two of us right now. And I do need to know. Last time we talked about what my son should know by the time he goes to kindergarten here in a few months. I need to know if I should cut something off. And I don't know. Well, whenever we were talking about what we're going to talk about on the show, I did look up Freud's castration anxiety, and that was anyway. Google it if you feel
your Googles are wild.
Yeah, it is weird. Anyway, so I think that this is probably stemming mostly from my insecurities from being a kid, getting made fun of, and I feel like all of my parenting stems from trying to make sure my children don't get made fun of. Will they get made fun of for this? Then I make sure that I stop them from doing that. And so now, my son Quaid, he still calls me Dada. And it's almost a little bit of a regression thing because I don't feel like he did it until Hudson started talking and calling me Dada.
Mm-hmm.
And so now, he called me Dada for a while, and then he started calling me Daddy, Daddy, and then Dad, Daddy, and then every once in a while he sprinkles in a Dada, and it feels like it's getting more and more frequently, sometimes around his friends. And I don't know, do I need to be like, hey man, call me Dad, call me Daddy? When do I need to cut off a Dada?
And this again, my kids are preteen and teenager now. Don't get rid of something or tell them to stop doing something that you will miss later.
But I don't.
If that makes sense.
Whenever he says it, it gives me a little shudder because I'm like, ooh, that sounds like a little baby.
That's you again, but that's because
fun.
You feel like he's gonna get made fun of.
Yes.
I think what grade's he in first?
He's gonna go into kindergarten.
Into kindergarten. So kids aren't really making fun of yet.
No.
Based on my experience with my kids, I think the making fun of didn't really start until the latter years of elementary school. So 4th and 5th grade is when kids started the really mean stuff. Then if he's still calling you Dada in 4th grade, maybe 3rd grade, that's when you maybe hey really call me Dad, buddy. You know that, but let him, dude. Let him. Don't hold on to his little kid as long as you can.
There was one kid, and I won't give gender, I won't give where I rank them in my list of friends that he has, that did go, why did you just call your dad Dada? And it seemed a little bit condescending, a little judgy.
Uh-huh.
And I blame the parents, 150%.
100, yeah. What's your problem, buddy?
But, so that was another, I'm going to get furious at that kid for talking down to Quaid. But I couldn't do that. And it just, made me rev up the conversation again. I thought I'd get another perspective on it.
Yeah, I think, personally speaking, I think you should let him hold on to being a little kid as long as possible.
Yeah.
Because you will, again, there's things that I hated that my kids did when they were really little that I now miss. That I'm like, man, I would give anything to have that back.
Yeah.
So data to me, let him have it. Let him go. If he wants to call you data, as long as he's not calling you some other names that we can't say on a podcast.
Yeah.
I think you're fine, dude.
And that's the right answer. I just wanted to make sure that, with social hierarchies and whatever, going to school, I just don't want him to feel like he's going to get, like, I don't want him to, if you see a blind person about to walk off a cliff, you should stop the blind person from walking off the cliff.
Yes.
And so I just want to make sure that, is that cliff over there real? And it's not.
It's not real.
It's me just going, I got to find everything that
it's a step down.
Yeah.
Like my son calls me Papa.
Yeah.
And I had the same feelings about that because not very many kids are calling their dads Papa in the United States. And he still calls me Papa. And there was one moment when I was coaching Cason's football team, and he was, I think, in like 4th grade. And he said, in the middle of practice, I got onto something for something. And so he still had a question. As I was walking away, he said, Papa. And I turned around, and I see one of the boys that's more like a dude's dude.
Right.
Like he was staring at Kason like, what the hell did you just call him? And I go, it's Coach when we're on the field.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, Coach Papa. And I looked at the other kid that gave him that weird look, and the kid started laughing.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, okay, he found that funny. He's not going to make fun of him. But I had that same, do I tell him, hey, call me Dad?
Right.
But I never did. And he still calls me Papa.
How about, when did you make him start calling you Coach? All the time, since the very beginning?
In football, I from when he was 5 years old.
Okay.
When I started coaching him, it was Coach on the field. If we're at practice, I am not I'm still your dad. Don't get it wrong, but I'm not your dad on the field. I'm Coach.
Yeah.
I'm Coach to him, and you. You are equal to every one of these kids. I'm not going to treat you differently. I'm going to get onto you just the same as these other boys, probably a little harder. and once we're done with practice, I'm Dad again.
Right. So I haven't even thought about it. Quaid still calls me Dad while I'm coaching soccer. And he has for the past 2 years. Do you think that's something I should switch? Not that this is not like an insecurity thing.
That one I would, just because you don't want other kids to start going like, oh, it's like this mental thing that I feel like as a player or as a little kid, you start noticing and you go, oh, that's his dad, so he's probably going to favor him.
Right.
So if I see as another.
Oh, and I do. 100% I do.
Of course. And it's
if
hard
I need
not
a player,
to.
If nobody. Wait, come on. I need somebody to do something for me. You got this.
And
buddy.
that's natural.
No, I shouldn't. But
you feel it. You want to do it. It's completely natural. You want your kid to be the one that goes for it. But I think it's better for him and his teammates.
Yeah.
If all of them call you Coach. Because that they're all one person. Nobody's above the other one.
Huh. Okay. Well, that was not something that I planned on thinking about today, but I think that's a good switch. You're right.
And I might be wrong. Again, we're not experts.
Oh.
I'm a youth football coach. So what do I know?
Yeah.
But speaking of sports, and going through tough times for kids, because we've talked on this podcast. My son is in 8th grade now. 6th grade was awful. I almost pulled him out of school because he got picked on awful. It was really bad. There was a couple really mean kids that got to him and did some things that were extremely hurtful where we had to get the school involved. 7th grade got a little bit better, but it's hard to hear my son say, because the kids start getting social media and, maybe I help coach some of them. So I see theirs and I see them hanging out. And my son's not there. And I would ask him, hey, buddy, why aren't you over in the next neighborhood hanging out with these boys? He goes, they didn't call me.
Oh.
Or, when you start noticing things, or, hey, why don't you call them up and be the friendship starter or the hangout starter? And he goes, I just don't. He would tell me, I don't think they like me like that. I think we're cool, but I don't think they want me to come hang out. Or I think they think I'm annoying. Or he started saying really negative things about himself. Mm-hmm. And I would try to build him up and go, buddy, we're all annoying. Every boy is annoying. There's maybe you're annoying to one kid, but it doesn't mean you're annoying to all the other kids. Because there was a couple kids that would say, you annoy me. I don't want you around. Right. And he started literally believing that. And he even started noticing with girls, he's like, I don't think any girls like me. So he was really down on himself. And this year was not very much different. He still felt like he has his friends. And he was feeling decent about himself during like football season and stuff, and then basketball season he feels like he's not very good, so he felt like he lost a little limelight. And then track season started this past week. And if you are an athlete, you've ever played sport, you dream of what I call the Rudy moment.
Yeah.
And if you've ever watched Rudy, I think it's a fantastic movie for all kids to watch. I think it's a parent-kid, whether you play football or boy, girl, it's a beautiful movie to watch because it shows perseverance and it shows if you want something, go get it. And I know it's Hollywoodified, made, to be better in Hollywood. And there's a scene in the movie where they carry Rudy off on their shoulders, the whole team, and they're like around him because he makes a really big play that he finally gets to play. Every kid dreams of that moment.
For sure. In
any team you're on. And my son got that similar moment.
It's great.
And I'm in the stands, and you get emotional, and I try not to be that dad that screams too much, but I can't help myself when I see my son do things like this. I get so pumped. I could hear myself in other parents' videos, like, yeah, boy. Like, I get so happy for him.
You don't want to do that because you think you're annoying to other people?
I don't want to be the. Interesting. I don't want the other parents, because I know their kids are also competing, and I don't want them to go, look at this jerk showing off that his son's fat. So I try, but it just comes out because it's natural happiness. My son was doing the 4x200, which is 4 kids running 200 meters around the track. And he was put as the anchor. And the anchor is typically the one that has the most stress. You could either win a race for your team or you could lose the race for your team.
Right.
And the other 3 guys are the ones that set you up for it. So everybody's important, but everybody's looking at the anchor.
Right, because that's where the finish line is.
That's where
they call the winner.
And I was a little high up in the stands. I usually like to watch by the finish line, but I was up in the stands because my son he's the anchor, so he was far away from me, and I wanted to catch his run. And when the race started, it wasn't looking good. I mean, there was a team in first place, and they were far ahead. Second leg comes, we kind of made up a little ground, not much, but there was still a pretty substantial lead. Then the third leg goes, he made up a little bit of ground, but it wasn't looking good for his team. And I'm like, man, and I know my son, he takes things hard. And so they hand off the baton to the team that was in first place, and he starts running. And my son still hasn't gotten the baton. And he starts doing his run to get it. He gets the baton, and he looked like he was just shot out of a cannon. It was just weird to see. He has this long stride, and he's getting around. He's curving the corner to go into the straightaway to finish the race. And the kid that is in first place, by a good 20 meters, 30 meters, which is a long way to go, he gets to the straightaway before Kaysen, and now he's in the straightaway, and Kaysen comes around this corner and just like, it looked like he even sped up more.
Yeah, hits a new gear.
Yeah, it was weird because normally you get tired after 100 meter. And he is going so fast that I noticed that the kid in first place looks back once.
Oh, wow.
And as soon as I see this kid look back once, I go, oh, my God, my son might get it. And Kaysen starts making up ground. The kid looks back a second time, and I go, oh, my God. The crowd is going crazy in the stands.
For your son.
For, like, the race in general. Yeah. I mean, it's just even other parents from all the kids are lined up along the track watching this race. You see them jumping up and down. There's kids trying to, like, run with him as he's getting there. At the very last, 3 meters, Kaysen passes him and wins the race for his team.
Did he do the arms out?
Yeah, he did the arms out, head dobbed, and he turns around to look at, because they got to tell them who won, and they point at him, and I just see kids rush him.
It's amazing.
They start rushing him, and they're like hugging him and stuff, and they're telling him, get off the track. And when he gets to the grass, all the kids from his team I couldn't see my son.
Wow.
Because they jumped on him, and he kind of fell down.
Yeah.
And when he stood up, he had they couldn't carry him because he's pretty big.
Sure.
He's tall. But when he stood up, I see the biggest smile on his face. And I thought to myself, he got his Rudy moment.
Right.
He got his, I never got that. I never got the shoulders. And I played sports a long time, and he got it.
Yeah.
And his attitude after the game was on cloud 9. It was the biggest blessing that my son could have had for how rough of a last few years he's had.
Yeah.
He finally, I said, look, man, look at all the kids that you thought didn't want to mess with you or didn't like you or thought they like you. They think you're cool. You did something to help them in a sport. And he goes, yeah, everybody's being so nice. Next day at school, how was school? Oh, it was great. Everybody, they were talking about it, and I got congratulated. Even teachers congratulated me. So, man, I'm on such a high right now with what my son did.
Totally, that's great, man. That's a good moment.
I did tell him though, and this is important if you have kids that do something, whether it's band, theater, sports. I told them, hey, man, when we were alone, I said, I want you to know I'm really proud of you. But I don't want you to get it twisted.
Right.
I'm not proud because you're fast. That is not why I'm proud of you. You are fast. That's my selfish pride. That's for me.
Yeah.
I'm proud as a dad that you're fast. But that doesn't make you a better person. I said, I'm proud of you because I saw you put the work in to do that.
Smart.
And he looked at me and he goes, what? And I said, I'm not proud that you're a fast person. I'm proud that you put in the work to become fast.
Right.
And I think that's an important message that we need to send kids. It's not, we can't tell, because some kids are naturally fast.
Right.
Some kids are naturally good at singing. Some kids they're just born that way and they don't have to put in the work. So if you put all your eggs in that basket and tell them, I'm proud of you because you're good at singing or you're a great performer, but they never put work in because they're natural, they're going to put their worth on that.
You're right.
And
only if you get the W, that's the only way that's proud.
And there's always somebody better, and there's going to be a time where they're knocked the notch down, and their worth is going to be gone. But if you make it a point to let them know I'm proud, if they work their butts off to get to that point, then their worth is going to be it's going to be in the work that they put in for the rest of their lives. And I read that somewhere a long time ago, and I really hung on to that.
It's great.
For those moments.
It's smart. It's smart to keep that in the top of your mind whenever there is so much, all the endorphins are flowing, and you're like, oh, man, you're the best in the whole wide city. That's the greatest thing you've ever done. Like, you're like, hang on. I can keep this. Let me tell you what really is going on. Not like, yeah, we're all going to jump around and scream for you, but here's what's the truth. Mm-hmm. The truth below the truth.
Now, as proud as I am of my son, though, you said you needed to cut something off with Quaid.
Yes, sir.
I had to cut something off with Kaysen.
Uh-oh.
And I want to get your feelings on this because I've been struggling with this. It has to do with homework. My son's taking an AP Spanish class in 8th grade, which is a high school.
Impressive.
So he is set to receive some college credit. I am Mexican, from Mexico, and that is my birth language. That's my first language. So my son has relied heavily on me since he started doing Spanish, back when he was in kindergarten.
Yeah.
And so I've noticed that I help him a lot with it. And the other day, it wasn't a Spanish class thing. It was his English class. And he was writing a paper. And he was writing a paper, an argumentative piece where you have to show your point and then the counterpoints, but then argue those counterpoints. And he said, hey, can you read over my rough draft?
Oh, my God. School sucks.
Right? And I'm thinking, damn, that's okay. Let me read your rough draft. And he showed me what it was, and it wasn't written out yet. It was just they give you the questions, you fill it in, and then you add it onto your paper. And so I read them all, and I was like, okay, yeah, that's pretty good. I would change this wording, or I would kind of guide him to change it. And I changed a couple answers for him, and then I stopped.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, I'm enabling right now. I want him to look like a good writer, and I'm doing too much. So I caught myself there at the end, and then I noticed that some were not done. And he goes, hey, can you help me write the ones that I haven't finished yet? And I looked at him, and I put the pen down, and I said, no.
Yeah.
And his face was, what? What do you mean no? What do you mean you've always helped me? What do you mean you're not going to help me? And I said, I'm not going to help you, dude. This is your paper. This is your words. These are your thoughts. And if I help you write this, it's not authentically you. And he said, but I thought you were, and I said, I'm going to help. I'll read it. I'll proof it for you. I'll check your grammar and make sure your punctuation's on point when you write your rough draft. But I'm not helping you. You have to come up with your own answers. You got to go do your research and you got to do your arguments on yourself. And if you need an idea, or how to phrase something, I can help you, but I'm not gonna do this with you.
Yeah. Okay.
And he goes, okay.
So, how do you end up formulating your own ideas? Like,
so for example, his paper was on Patrick Mahomes because that's his favorite football player.
okay, so this is a subject he knows, he likes.
He knows it.
It's in and out. This is what he knows.
And it
All
was
right.
argumentative because a lot of kids at his school say he's not a good quarterback.
Okay.
And so his argument is he's one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time and is the best quarterback in the NFL right now. And I thought, that's a great piece, and you love this guy, so you know about it.
Okay. That changes my whole thing. Then, yeah, that totally, he knows about it. These should be his own words. This is what he has and does think about.
Right.
I was going with should we or should we not introduce taxes on salaries,
right,
or should it be sales tax only, whatever. I was like, well, like that would be really tough. But if they give him a choice of what he wants to write about, and he knows that subject really well, then that's a whole different ballgame.
And the beautiful thing about writing, and this is what I told him, the beautiful thing about writing is there's no right or wrong.
Yeah.
It's like math. I will continue to help him with math because there's an actual answer, and you need to get there somehow. And he might struggle with something, so I'll help him with that. But with writing, there's no right or wrong. It's your thoughts. It's your opinions. Unless it's an actual, educational piece and you're doing an essay on whatever. But I'm talking about these where it's an opinion-based papers. That's where you thrive. That's where your brain grows.
Yeah, I was making it like college level. But no, I think that you're taking the right approach. Then make him do the work himself, put down his own words. I do wonder, I get a little bit sidetracked if I'm telling a story or trying to get my point across. I get sidetracked and go down a different path. And so do you tell him, hey, you kind of got off track here. You weren't talking about what your point is. That's something you'll nudge him back to the middle.
And he'll write like he's having a conversation. Like, he'll say things where I'm like, hey, you got to remember this is a paper, not you talking to your friend.
I'm like, bro, Patrick Mahomes threw for 3,000 yards.
Like, are you dumb? You don't understand. Like, he had a couple of those that he was phrasing it like when he talks to friends, and that I help him with. Like, hey, man, you got to remember you're talking to a teacher, so make it more professional sounding. And that I will help him with. But I am now going to be hands off with homework. So he had Spanish too. Hey, Dad, can you help me with my Spanish homework? And I said, no. I'll check your Spanish homework, but I'm not helping you write your sentences or your responses to those questions. You're going to write them, and then you're going to show them to me, and I'll tell you which ones are right and wrong and which ones you need to fix, and then you go fix them yourself. And he actually responded incredibly well to that. Like, he was really cool about it.
Do you talk to him in Spanish while doing the Spanish homework?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, look at you.
I try.
Because they went to a Spanish immersion elementary school, right? So he's got a good chance at getting those college credits early. That's pretty good.
I hope so.
Smart move.
And listen, I took AP Spanish myself in high school, right?
Hey, use what advantages
why
you got.
Why wouldn't I get college credit for something that I learned? And I'll be honest with you, it was hard.
Yeah.
Like,
I bet.
It's not an easy class, even for because I moved here when I was in third grade.
Yeah.
So but that's where my language stopped. That's where my Spanish stopped. So this is like higher level Spanish. And so even for a Mexican, an immigrant, it was not an easy class.
Right. I believe it because French was tough. I got through French by saying, je ne sais pas, which means I don't know.
I don't know.
I just said it over and over and over again and made people laugh and made it through.
So, Trey, you're going to be soccer season's right around the corner. What's it looking like for the Huskies?
Looks great. I think we are the oldest team out there.
Okay.
It will be either that means we're going to be great, or it's going to be like, hey, somebody should have coached them a little better because they're the oldest and they should be whooping up on people. But I did get the chance to be the head coach again. I kind of stole it back. I didn't steal it back. We were like nobody was communicating about like when the first practice was, blah, blah, blah. And we're about a week out from the season. Our first practice would definitely be this coming Thursday. It got to be this past Thursday, and like nobody had said like a word about when a practice was going to be. And finally, the guy at the end of last season, I was a little bit grumpy dealing with stuff, and was like, "No, I'm not coaching anymore." The guy that stepped up, who was the assistant coach, I was like, "Sure, I'll be the sideline wrangler guy. I just don't want to like coordinate everything." He texted me and was like, "Hey, I just want to make sure we're all good. Who's leading the team?" And I was like, "Listen, if you're giving me a chance to rescind my resignation, I'll do it. Like, I'm happy to do it today just because I wasn't happy at the end of the season. And so that's how it's going to go down. I get to be head coach one last time before Quay goes off to school, and it should be a fun season. I've got some grand plans, and we had our first practice a couple of days ago with just 4 kids because it was super duper late when I texted, hey, we're going to a park this afternoon. And my grand plans, I don't know that they're going to work out because they're still not like drilling. Like, I was like, cool, this year they're the oldest in the group. We're going to be able to do drills. We're going to like, that's not how it works. They're still all just a bunch of kids that want to play with each other more than they really want to kick a soccer ball.
And they're comfortable with you.
They are comfortable with
Coach
me.
Trey is back.
That's right. It's Coach Quaid. You call me Coach on the field.
Oh, I want to see if that works.
It's going to be fun. It'll be a good time. We are excited. I don't know. I got nothing else other than we can do it. And I'm gonna try to give more inspirational speeches because it makes me feel good inside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Isn't it cool how kids are just like one long project we're doing?
Oh my gosh.
Isn't it wild?
It's so frustrating. As I was thinking about, like, every time I walk past candy in my house, I'm like, I have to be the one that doesn't eat candy because I tell them not to, right? I'm like, hey, can't eat candy right now. You got to eat something healthy. So if they catch me just stacking at the counter, I'm like, I should be eating an apple, not eating candy. I have to be on my game. I have to have my discipline because when they catch me, it can't be candy. They can have candy. I understand they're going to, but they should see an example of something better, not an example of something worse.
And you've done a great job, and we talk about it a lot on this podcast.
It's so exhausting, JC. It's so mentally exhausting. And, like, I think about single parents, and, like, they never get a chance to, like, break. No. Like, at least sometimes I can be like, hey, Kara, I'm going to go upstairs and take a shower, and then I have a stash of gummy bears in the closet.
You got to sneak it. I say that because I'm getting to the end of my project with at least Kaysen,
right?
Because he's going to go into high school next year. And as much as we doubt ourselves on this podcast, Nick doubts himself all the time. Trey doubts himself. I doubt myself all the time. I've started noticing, and if you're new, or a new parent, or you have really, really little kids, maybe younger than Trey's kids, what you start doing and implementing now, I can tell you for a fact, absolutely will be who they become later in life.
Yeah.
And I say this because I had this moment, speaking of candy and sodas and all that stuff. My kids, and I've talked about this before, I let my kids have a soda if we go to dinner.
Yeah.
And they have one. And most restaurants give refills. And from when they were little, when I let them have their first soda, which I think was probably around 5 or 6 years old, maybe 7. But when I let them have their first soda, I was very adamant about you can only have one.
Yeah.
And, a couple times a waiter would come by and sneak one in and fill it up, and I'd look over and Kaysen's freaking chugging this thing down. And I'd be like, no, dude, you only get one. And Chloe would listen. My daughter would listen every time. And it got to the point where as they got older, at 9, 10 years old, the waiter would come by and they'd go to pour the soda, and they would say, no, thank you, I'll take water.
It's great.
And so my wife was telling me the other day she went out with her friend and their kids. They're the same age as our kids. And she goes, we did a good job. I said, we did a good, why did we do a good job? And she said, we're at the restaurant and we let the kids sit by themselves.
Whoa.
And so we could keep an eye out. And Kinsey could see the kids, and she said the waiter came by, poured everybody their soda. Our kids drank theirs. My son's a chugger, so he finishes within 5 seconds.
Right.
And Chloe is really good and has it the entire dinner. Sometimes doesn't even finish the soda. And so Kaysen had finished his. The other kids finished theirs. The waiter came back and refilled the other kids' sodas. And my son goes, I'll take water from now.
Nice.
On his own. No mom there. The other kids were getting soda. He could have very likely gone, yeah, I'll take some more.
Right.
But he said, no, I want water.
3 or 4.
And Kinsey said in her head, she noted that. And she said, I've noticed that our kids, when given the opportunity to have soda or candy, tend to turn it down.
Yeah.
And it's literally because we implemented that from when they were little, and it now has become a routine for them. And I feel like, okay, if I've done one right thing in my life as a parent, it's that we did that when they were young. Yeah. And now as teenagers, I see them with their Valentine's Day candy.
Okay.
It's still in the pantry.
Right.
They didn't eat it all. They eat one chocolate a day.
That's pretty good.
And that's it. And I feel so freaking proud. So I want, like, if you have little kids, I promise you, if you start doing those good implement those good the good what's it called?
Habits.
The good habits early on, they will absolutely grow with those habits.
Nice. Very good.
Which is good to know. And it looks like it's happening at your house too.
A little bit. All right, well, let's wrap this thing up. Hopefully Nick will be back with us next time around, and you can follow us on social media. You can message us and comment. I'm still looking for things that my son needs to know before he heads off to kindergarten. So if you have anything that you're like, you have to make sure he knows how to blank, please send it to me at On the Tradio. And JC's is?
At JSI5.
And there you go. This is the Chatty Daddies. I'm Trey.
I'm JC.
And remember,
stand up straight.
The Chatty Daddies Podcast.